everybody, hello, and welcome to this page, which is kind of, I don't know, it's new beginnings, it's something different, it's something that I'm using that I have never used before. I don't even know how long it's been on the market. Could have been on the market since Adam was a boy, could have been invented yesterday, but it's fabulous stuff, and I'll show you how it works later. This is my little, I'm going to call it an art journal, I think. I got it at Hobbycraft. It was reduced. It was $2.99. The pages inside it are all craft, but they're not really up to any sort of mixed media type thing. So I'm using them just as a base, really. So I've stuck that one in. I know you've mostly all seen that one, I think. And then this is the one that I showed you on the group yesterday, I think. And you wanted to know how I'd done it. Now, don't blame me, because it's just different. It's different to most things that I've done. This is decoupage, and I'll show you how I do mine. But you'll have your own way. I'm quite sure of doing decoupage. But anyway, this is a 6x6 piece of mixed media paper, and yeah, this is the craft paper that's in the journal. It wouldn't stand up too much, so just use it as a mountain place, really. So let's get on with it. Let's see how you do it. So here's my 6x6, well, it's approximately 6x6, maybe not exactly, piece of mixed media paper, and I'm just going to gesso it. So whatever gesso you've got will be fine. It absolutely will be. The cheapest gesso in the land will be fine for this. In fact, you can just about get away with this without gesso in it, but I think you get a slightly nicer effect when you do, which is why I'm doing it. I really need to get myself some cheap gesso for situations like this, because, like I say, you don't need expensive stuff. So just make sure you've got the whole of your paper covered. And if you get it in the right light, you can see quite easily if you've missed bits out or not. And I think I'm all right there. I think that's it about done. It's quite warm in this room. It's not very warm, because Mr. F went shopping this morning, and before he went, he said, "Do you want me to put the fire on?" Which is normal for this time of year, that we'd have the fire on in the morning. And I said, "No, I don't think it needs it, given the price of coal," which is just ridiculous. I'm just going to pop my brush into water, because gesso is like an acrylic paint, and don't let it dry on your brush, because you'll ruin your brush. So yeah, Mr. F went off shopping. I'm just jabbering while that dries. And I didn't have the fire on, and to be honest, I was busying myself away, and I didn't feel cold at all. In fact, I left the back door open, and that's the first time since we've had Catkin, well, since we've had him that he's been big enough to go outside, that the back door's been left open. And he had a whale of a time, he really, really did. He was like, when cats get the zoomies and they just rush around hither and thither for no apparent reason whatsoever. He was doing that. He was running outside this sort of concrete bit before you get onto the lawn. And he was running onto the concrete and then running back in as fast as he could and then doing it again. He was having a great time. So unfortunately it's gone a bit cooler now, so the door's shut, but he's tucked up in his bed because he's worn himself out. Right, that's dry now. You were availed of the Catkin story. That wasn't that interesting, really, to be honest. And I'm going to show you these new products that I have. And they are Dina Wakley Gloss Spray. Gloss Acrylic Spray. These are they. They come in too many tempting colours. They really do. But this is what I bought on the day when I went to Harrogate to get all the Timmy goodies. I saw these, and I had actually seen them in a girl using them in a video, and I thought they were interesting. So I thought, seeing as I was pushing the boat so far out to the middle of the ocean anyway, I would get these 3 and give them a try. So I went for white because it's your kind of base colour, isn't it? And then I went for this beautiful, beautiful turquoise colour. No shock there. And then I went for olive. So all of them, I think you'd say, are pretty predictable. Well, the 2 of them pretty predictable for what I would have chosen. The thing is that you have to shake them. Now, I don't know what's in these that makes them different from ordinary acrylic paint. But whatever it is, it settles out to the bottom, and you've really got to shake them to make sure that you get all that stuff, all that good stuff, mixed up into the paint before you spray it. Otherwise, it doesn't do what you want it to do. Let's have a double shake. It's like playing maracas or something, isn't it? I should have had these shaken up before I started the video, really, but I didn't. Of course I didn't. And this one, you can see, still got some stuff hanging around the bottom, so give it a good shake. Nearly there. And this white one probably needs a good shake as well, actually. Oh, my arm's getting tired. Looks all right. Right, now let's get the lids off and let the magic begin. I hope it's going to work. I haven't done this often enough to be absolutely certain of what I'm doing, really. But here comes the scrap box. It's just a bit of a problem with the light. But that's okay, I think. We're all right there, you can see. Lovely, that's it. Mr. F's directing. He's standing at the edge of the table, beckoning me to push it forward. And of course he's right. He's always right. Right, so the first thing that I'm going to spray is the white. Now, I haven't tried this with and without the gesso. And I think the gesso might actually do the job the white's going to do, but we'll see. So I'm sort of spraying it all over, and before that gets to running, I'm just going to just dampen the back of the paper to try and stop it buckling quite so much. And then I'm going to go in with the green. A little bit down here. And you can see instantly what's happening. It's going into this beautiful bubbly background. I love it. And then some blue down the middle there. And I think that's it. I think actually I've got too much there because it's starting to pool. And I don't really want it to do that. Let's just see if we can pick some of that up without spoiling the effect. You can see it going into the green. And just creating beautiful marks. So, isn't that fabulous? It's totally fabulous. I love it. Yeah, I've put too much blue on there. But it doesn't matter, it's making interesting marks anyway. And it's like they repel each other. I honestly, for once, I really don't know why something works. But it does. That's the interest. And that's all we need to know. It does. And it makes this absolutely beautiful background. Could have maybe done with a bit more mixing down there. Maybe. Let's just see if we can get a little bit out. Yeah, I think that'll do. Right. Now, Dina Wakley herself says not to dry these with a heat tool. I have been drying mine with a heat tool because I'm impatient. I just don't want that along there, really. Yeah, I'm impatient. And actually, I haven't seen I haven't seen it do anything weird or burning or anything like that. Where's my tweezers? Let's just hold the middle down, because I don't want it all sliding off to the top. And I am going to dry it. I'm at least going to start to dry it. But these two colours go beautifully together, and I just love that background. It's acrylic paint. Admittedly, it's got something else in it, but it does dry quickly because acrylic paint dries quickly. So even if you weren't to heat it, it wouldn't take long to dry. You can see areas now that are really, really dry. And that's it. That's the secret. I mean, it's not a secret. Anybody can go and buy these and create these wonderful backgrounds. I mean, can you imagine that in, oh, I don't know, like a duck egg blue and brown? How vintagey and gorgeous that would look. And the thing about it is, when that's dry, it's dry. You will not move it at all. You can put anything you want over it and you won't move it. And that's the joy of it, because, you know, the distress inks and oxides, they're lovely. You know, we've all used them for years. They're fabulous things. And it was a huge jump in the market when they came out. But you're very limited, aren't you? You know, as soon as you go near them with water, they move. So this is, I don't know, for how I'm feeling at the moment, this is great. I put it on, I can do whatever I like over it. Having said that, certain things won't stick to it. So if you're going to stamp on it, for example, don't stamp on it with distress ink, because it will never dry on it. This has now become a non-porous surface. So, you know, treat it as if you were stamping on glass or similar. So use your StazOn or your VersaFine, something like that, that will dry properly on a non-porous surface. So that's about there, I would say. Oh, I like that, it's lovely. These great big voids that it creates. They're like cells, aren't they, in resin pores? Really lovely. So I'll pop that into the side, read for that, the flow. And we'll get cracking on sorting out the blue tits. So, I ordered these from eBay. In fact, I think the little thing that came in with it is here. Thank you for buying from my small business. My name is Carol, and you can contact me on my email if you wish to purchase more. I also have a Facebook group called Bronte Rose Napkins for Decoupage, where you can also purchase at a lower price. Because obviously if you buy things off eBay, people have got to add stuff on because there's the eBay fees. So yeah, so there we are for you guys in Great Britain. Bronte Rose Napkins for Decoupage, that's her Facebook group. If you want to go along and have a look. I haven't as yet because I've just seen this bit of paper, but I certainly will, because I'm down to my last 30,000 napkins. But there's always nice ones, isn't there, that you see and you want to have. And these ones, oh, when I saw these, come on, they're blue tits. Of course I love them. I love blue tits. I'll tell you what else I really love is lambs. And we're getting to have quite a few in the field round by us, which is brilliant. That always means spring's coming, doesn't it? Right, so I'm just going to take a brush, dip it in my water, and I'm going to cut out around, I'm going to cut out the shape that I want with the water. So I'm going to just dampen around the edge where I'm going to tear. Well, now, I'm going to do it now. And just be careful because it's really easy to for the water to spread, and then you pull it and all of a sudden you've got a bird's head that you weren't intending. So do this side first I've still got all the layers of the napkin here together. Just see, it always feels a bit easier to me to do it when we've got all two or three layers, whatever your napkin has. So that's fine. What you don't want is a straight edge. Don't cut your napkins out with scissors, because the eye finds that too easy, and it lands on it every time because it's straight. So it's much better if you tear it or do it this way. Got rather overly much water on there, but never mind. Just be careful when we tear it out. And this bit here I don't want straight either, so I'm just putting some water on there. Right, so let's just tear some bits out along the bottom so we don't have a straight edge for the reasons I've just said. And just being careful around this bird, because I went a bit free and easy with the water. Whoops, that's nearly his tail. Whoops. Yeah, I would advise you take your time. Don't rush like I am. It's unnecessary. There we are. His tail is looking a bit on the dodgy side, but it'll be all right, I think. So there's just this bit here that I don't need. There we are. Right. I've got a bit of a straight edge going on there, so I'll just pull that off. Right, so that's kind of the shape that I've ended up with. And I need to just check that that's going to fit on my background. So that's pretty dry now. That's perfect, I would say. Right, so now we need to separate the layers, because at present, I can't remember actually, I think this might just have 2 layers, and I just dampen my fingers and just go like that. And of course it doesn't work when you're filming it. And just pull them off. Don't try and stick it down without taking the back layers off. It just won't work. It will be a hot mess. Now, the type of decoupage glue that you use, everybody has their own favourite, okay? So use what is your favourite. Oh, that tail is very, very dodgy. Very dodgy. Oh my goodness me. There we are, I think that's it. So that can go in the bin. Right, the type of decoupage glue that I use is generally whatever type of matte medium I have at the moment. But actually today I'm going to be using Tim's Distress Collage medium. I like it, it goes on easily, it doesn't give me any problems, so we're all right. So my choices are this. I can have the blue tits going up through that blue area there, which I actually really like, and that was why I did it. Or I could have them going, no, I can't. Let's turn them around. I can do it that way. I think I like them going up through the blue best. That was kind of the idea behind it. And hopefully they'll stand out enough. So what you need is your favoured decoupage glue. Now it could be Mod Podge, it could be matte medium, it could be a myriad of other people who make this sort of thing. Collage medium, decoupage glue, whatever you want to call it. And if you use it and it works for you, that's the only thing that matters. You know, we all have our favourites. We definitely do. I really like this Timmy stuff, but it's so blinking expensive. So I've just ordered some. I've finished off my matte medium. I'm going to be using this brush that I used for gesso. So hoping it hasn't got any gesso left on it, because that would kind of make the birds a bit white. Right. So what I always do, I never put any glue under the napkin, because that way then it sticks on it and you can't smooth it out. So I'm starting with my napkin free floating there. Load your brush up. You do need quite a lot of medium for this. Don't ever let your brush dry out, because if you do, it'll tear your napkin. So I'm starting from the centre and I'm just going all the way to the edge, just like that. And then centre to the edge. So there's no great mystery about it. That's all I do. There we go. And you can feel when it's starting to get dry. So when it starts to get dry, stop fiddling. It's easier said than done, because you just want to, I'll just do that bit. So from here, let's do that. From the centre down to the outside. And then this top bit, centre right the way up to there. And I'm going to have a bit of a problem with his tail, I think, because I've already torn it off. Like I say, make sure you've got plenty of medium on. Right, let's see what I can do with this tail then. Ooh, might be alright. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No. Oh yeah, maybe. Well, that's as good as it's going to get, to be honest. So there we are. That's our birds put on. No fuss, no messing around. They're just on there. Pretty wrinkle free, I'd say. Tim does a brush, I'm not sure what it's called now, collage brush, I think. I think it does 3. They're in a series, small, medium and large. And Julie's got one, Julie from Camellia Crafts, and she says it's lovely and soft, which is what you want. You don't want anything hard on your brush, because a wet tissue doesn't have much, it tears easily. I don't know what the word was I was looking for, who knows. So there we are, that's that. So now all I have to do is leave that to dry. It won't take long. Stop messing. It's the messing that will get you into trouble. I'm telling you, every time. Just a little bit more and a little bit more, and before you know it, you've torn it. And what am I doing? I'm messing. Right, there we are. That's that. So there's our birds on our beautiful background, and I'm just going to leave them there for a little while to dry. They won't be long at all, and we'll be fine. Then we'll come and do the border. Okay, so we're all dried and it's looking lovely, I think. Now then, what I did with the other one, and I know Terry at least said that it looked nice, was I stamped around it. Now, bearing in mind what I said before, this is now a non-porous surface, so use something like Stays On if you are going to stamp on it. And I'm using this stamp. It's just a grid. It's plain, straightforward grid. If you don't have a grid stamp, and why should you, you can draw a grid on if you want to. Don't be put off because you haven't got a stamp. So I'm just going to use various bits of this stamp. I don't want it to look even, particularly. Just I want there to be a hint of it around the edge. I'll go for a bigger bit there. Maybe even a bigger bit still there. So it's just, whatever takes your fancy on at the time. There we are. So that's it. We've got, now you can heat dry this because it won't it won't dry instantly. keep saying it. It's a non-porous surface, so you're going to have to just wait for it to dry or just put some heat over it. It doesn't take long. Take long at all. Let's just waft, shall we? Should we just waft? You'll see once the shine goes off it. I think we're about there. It doesn't take long. Right, so I have looked out two. These are blasts from the past, I must say. Posca pens. You may be familiar with these, you may not. That's them, Posca. They come in, well, when I bought mine, they didn't come in that many colours, to be honest. But I believe now they come in loads of colours. And they come in lots of different thicknesses of nibs as well, right up to super duper thick, which I've never used. I think Mr. F got in a job lot with other ones, and it's so thick. I'm sure I must be able to think up something to do with it, because it would just be so nice to use it. But these are acrylic paint in a pen. The proper acrylic paint in a pen. And because we're painting onto an acrylic surface, they'll be fine. They'll be permanent. So all that I did with mine yesterday was, in the areas where there was green behind, I coloured my... You have to shake them first. It's another shaky thing. I just coloured my squares in blue. And I did it randomly. I didn't want there to be a particular pattern to it. You can make a pattern if you want. But it's quite therapeutic, actually. Well, I think it is. But then again, I'm quite easily pleased. So yeah, where it's yellow, do the blue. So it's just getting into the blue there. I didn't have any two next to each other, but you can if you want. You make the rules. And I've got none there at all. I obviously didn't stamp there. That's all right. Don't have to. And some I'm not making whole squares, just a little bit. None there. So, well, this, what's that? Is that blue up? Hard to know. See what shows up. There we are. Oh, this is all blue as well. So this is a nice thing to do, isn't it? Nice and restful. So I'll just carry on doing this. Just show you what the yellow one looks like on the blue. Let's do this bit up here because it's very blue. So I'm sorry for those of you, excuse me, that have a Miss Paint a lot or a Fiona list of things that I use that you would like to use. I'm sorry. I really am. But those Dina Wakley paints, oh man, they are a revolution. They really are. I adore them. And I really want some more colours. There's all sorts of pastel colours as well as, you know, really bright ones. So, who knows, eh? I might get some more. So it's things like this detail that makes the difference, I think. Actually, I'm nearly there. You might as well stay with me. I've almost coloured the lot. It's quite hard sometimes being random. I don't mean random like that. I find that very easy being random. I mean selecting squares randomly. It's much easier if you're following a pattern. But I'm trying to be random. I'm nearly there. Is that it? Bit of blue up there, and that is it. It's a very effective border though, isn't it? It's really nice. Like I say, you could draw yourself a grid if you don't have a grid stamp. You could make the squares much larger. That would be nice. I think you could do it in black and white if you don't have coloured markers, because you could use you can use alcohol inks on this. I don't think you've got to use Poscas, but I'll give you alcohol inks. So that's it. That is my finished piece. I like it. I've got a piece here that I was just playing with actually before. So let's get the alcohol markers out and just make sure that I'm not lying to you. Let's get two bold colours out. If we've got a black Sharpie or something like that would be great. If I've got something like that. Let's just have a look. Yeah, black Sharpie. So let's make a grid on this that's much bigger. You can draw yours straight if you want. I seem to have an aversion to straight lines at the moment. And yes, I am going to go all the way around. Because why wouldn't I? And then we'll check the alcohol markers. See if they work on it or not. Don't forget the Posca pen, as I say, is acrylic, and so you'll need to allow a drying time suitable for acrylics. Not that that's long. Right, there we are. We've got quite a funky border going on. Well, I looked out purple and red, but I'm not sure I'm keen on that. So let's see what I can find. I've got a yellow and I've got a blue. So let's go with those, see if they work. So where the yellow is, I'm going to go with the blue. I think I can probably use my chisel end. Yeah, that works. I think it works anyway. Oh, I'm not so sure, you know. Let's try the narrow end. Yeah, no, it does work. But I wouldn't say it's as good a coverage as the acrylic Poscas. But if you've got alcohol markers and not Poscas, then yeah, they work. Oh, I'm just having a nice time colouring now. Let's try the yellow one. It's so light and so transparent. It's just giving me a sort of greeny colour. And it is a bright yellow. So, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a huge success, to be honest. No. So you can see it kind of works. Kind of works. But not as successfully as the Poscas. So there we have it. Let's consign that to the, maybe not. And there's the Decoupage, the 2 blue tits from today. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope that I told you all you need to know to go away and do something like this. The sprays, just once again, are these. And they are opaque. And they're gorgeous. They're really gorgeous. If you do get them, don't forget to shake them up, because they do have something that settles out quite quickly. So shake them before you spray them. So thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope I haven't cost you too much money. Bye for now.